most of us are not foreign policy experts. We may be qualified, लेकिन सरकार के पास कहीं ज्यादा रिसोर्सेज हैं और बेहतर रिसोर्सेज हैं, एनालिटिकल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं टू फॉर्मुलेट अ पॉलिसी. लेकिन पब्लिक हैज दी नॉट ओनली द राइट बट ऑल्सो capabilities to evaluate the outcome. रिजल्ट्स क्या रहा उस फॉरेन पॉलिसी का, उसकी काबिलियत तो है आउटकम देखने की. सो लेट अस आस्क व्हाट डिड वी एक्चुअली अचीव थ्रू आवर फॉरेन पॉलिसी. नाउ वी वर टोल्ड कि पाकिस्तान विल बी ग्लोबली आइसोलेटेड. अब पाकिस्तान FATF की ग्रीन लिस्ट से बाहर आ गया. उसने वर्ल्ड कप क्रिकेट टूर्नामेंट भी ऑर्गेनाइज करा लिया. अभी उसकी ट्राइलेटरल डिफेंस एग्रीमेंट भी साइन कर लिया सऊदी अरबिया और तुर्की के साथ. बीच में वो इट इमर्ज्ड एज अ मीडिएटर इन द US-Iran वॉर. इट कंटिन्यूज टू रिसीव IMF support despite its economic weaknesses and its continuing support to terrorism. And it has retained, rather strengthened, its diplomatic relevance in Middle East. So the question is, जो uncomfortable है, कि have we been able to isolate Pakistan? The answer is in front. अब हम अपने neighborhood में देखें. Relations with several neighboring countries have become more difficult. SAARC remains virtually paralyzed. BIMSTEC has not acquired the momentum we expected. हमारा जो नेबरहुड का फर्स्ट अप्रोच वाली पॉलिसी थी, उसको सीरियस चैलेंजेस मिले. नाउ एवरी नेबर इज नाउ फ्लाउटिंग द सेम स्लोगन, अखंड नेपाल, अखंड बांग्लादेश. शायद हमसे देख के ही, हमें देख के उन्होंने भी शुरू हो गए. नाउ इफ द नेबरहुड इज बिकमिंग मोर डिफिकल्ट, देन वी हैव टू आस्क व्हाई इज इट हैपनिंग. देन वी कम टू क्वाड. Quad may not have disappeared, but उसका strategic momentum जो है वो बहुत weak हो गया है. Then the expectations that we created around it, आप पुराने वो messages वगैरह सोशल मीडिया पे जाके देखें तो पता लग जाए. Now India meanwhile is simultaneously engaging China, Russia through BRICS and SC. और चाइना के साथ हमारा गलवान में एक bloody clash भी हुआ था कुछ साल पहले. Simultaneously, it is also trying to deepen relations with USA, Europe, Japan and Australia, जो China के adversaries हैं. We did not support Ukraine, rather we did not condemn what happened in Ukraine, and we have not condemned Israel also for its genocide in Gaza and its attack in Lebanon. So strategic flexibility is fine. But does the world understand कि हमारा strategic direction क्या है और कहाँ है and what we stand for actually. फिर हमारा favorite phrase है strategic autonomy. Powerful है, बड़ा attractive है, appealing भी है. But strategic autonomy must mean more than freedom to change positions. Non-alignment was also a form of strategic autonomy, but it was rooted in principles, and उससे इंडिया को एक डिस्टिंक्ट आइडेंटिटी मिली थी, एक स्टेटस मिला था दुनिया में, संसार वर्ल्ड में. Now today sometimes strategic autonomy looks like a doctrine and more like a girgit. So the world needs to know where we stand. Strategic autonomy should create strategic space, and it should not create strategic ambiguity कि किसी को पता ही नहीं हम what we stand for. We cannot simultaneously project ourselves as a major power and at the same time remain unclear about our strategic commitments. Every decision may be defensible individually, but cumulative picture जो है वो मैटर करती, जो इमर्ज करेगी, cumulative picture. And nowhere is this more visible than in our handling of Pakistan. Now, we used to put Pakistan's terrorism at the center of our arguments. Pakistan's record of supporting terrorism is well documented. दुनिया जानती है. But increasingly, हम क्या कर रहे हैं? हम भी अपना demonstrate कर रहे हैं अपनी capabilities for covert and unconventional warfare through movies, through popular narratives. So we also are celebrating our ability to strike back. Now, ये domestic sentiment के लिए तो ठीक है, but does it strengthen our diplomatic case or dilutes it, जिसको हम terrorism कहते हैं? And then there is Kashmir. Article 370 abrogate हो गया, 35A article चला गया. Supreme Court held the constitutional changes. Legally and constitutionally, the government secured its position. But constitutional finality does not automatically settle every political or social issue on ground. Constitution में तो आपने कर लिया, लेकिन ground पे क्या हुआ? So Article 370 continues to generate political mobilization. अभी recently देखा हमने protest हुए. Umar Abdullah continues to demand restoration of statehood, and he went on to say कि क्या अब हम protest White House के आगे करें statehood के लिए? Protests and political activity show that the issue has not simply disappeared. Unregulated construction in Srinagar is creating concerns about heritage, environment, and local interests. The question is no longer simply what did we change? The question is what are we creating? हम क्या बना रहे हैं उसको? And look at what is happening around Kashmir. Pakistan is expanding its defense partnerships. Saudi Arabia and Turkey have entered a trilateral defense agreement with Pakistan. Other countries could potentially deepen their engagement thereafter. Middle East will remain strategically important to US, Europe, China, and other major powers. Now, every new relationship, Pakistan builds and creates another diplomatic space for it to maneuver. And Pakistan is known for it since its inception, how to exploit such spaces. It has repeatedly internationalized the Kashmir issue. It has used international organizations and major power rivalries to keep the issue alive. A changing West Asian strategic environment could provide Pakistan additional opportunities to do so. China, of course, in this whole thing will remain an important factor, and we have seen it during Operation Sindhu. So we should not underestimate Pakistan's ability to exploit the geopolitical contradictions. And there is one development which is taking place, and we should be very watchful. We should be very watchful about the young generation. They are watching these activities, what happened in Sri Lanka, Nepal, and India, POK, and maybe in Pakistan in due course of time. So ideas, anger, and methods of protest, they travel extraordinarily fast today, courtesy social media. The young learn from another much faster than the governments learn from them. This is where Kashmir becomes much bigger than Kashmir. National security is essential. Territorial integrity is non-negotiable. But security cannot be built only through force. Local aspirations, dignity, heritage, employment, and governance matters. Ignoring them can eventually turn a manageable problem into a strategic one. Strength is necessary, but strength without sensitivity can become a weakness. And like Professor Amitabh Mattu had quoted recently, and I'm putting it, the whole slide, it came in Indian Express. Please go through it. It's a warning. So now this whole thing brings us to 2027. Pakistan is building its international space. Our neighborhood remains unsettled. Middle East is undergoing major strategic changes. Domestic social tensions are becoming more visible. Kashmir remains politically sensitive. इंडिविजुअली ये सब मैनेजेबल है, लेकिन कलेक्टिवली वो प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करता है. एंड व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन दे स्टार्ट interacting with each other? And that is where the chakra which I was talking about, and I have been talking about, it tightens. External pressures, neighborhood instability, Pakistan's expanding diplomatic space, growing public and youth unrest, narrowing strategic choices. That is why 2027 concerns me. We may still have the strength to deal with each challenge individually, but agar ye challenges they start reinforcing each other, the chakra could tighten further and our options to deal with them begin narrowing. And that is precisely why we need to evaluate the outcomes and not just celebrate the intentions. कि हम क्या चाहते हैं उसको सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो आउटकम निकल रहा है वो हम ध्यान ही नहीं दे रहे. थैंक यू. जय हिंद.